I'm live. Okay. Fuck YouTube. Who's with us? Follow a friend. Ademan. Tom Anders is on his way to the gym. That's good. I should be there as well. Anyway, Noble Carl, Geg. Only 155. Sick is with us as well. Well, I need beer. This has been a roller coaster of a week, people. What do I have here? Transtrands Pils. Dalarna Pilsner. Let's see how this tastes. So, the missus is still up in Dalarna in Sweden and working on an old medieval church. So she brings me beer from that region of Sweden. And I forgot to order beer for my Philip Perfect Draft. It's getting delivered anytime now. By the way, I got the tattoo last Saturday. So I got the Bluetooth tattoo. And I got the Cult Mechanicus all over my back as well. But I'm not going to remove my shirt to show it. But this is Harald Blåtand, which is HB initials, a monogram of HB. That's what the Bluetooth logo actually is. And Hagge Benke, Henrik Bergdahl, that's my name. Same initials. Perfect, right? Skål på er. That's a nice pilsner. Was join us. Not the tool, Captain Arfal, Skogen, Paf, Trampled by the Ears with us again. Jonathan Koskinen, skål på det. Normal citizen is with us. And he got a book in the mail. That's nice. I just picked up a package. I haven't even opened it yet. I forgot what I ordered. Drunk ordering on Amazon or something. Yeah, so what happened? YouTube basically started banning or handing out strikes for inserting a magazine into a gun and putting a suppressor on or off a gun. Basically manipulating a firearm in any way, or the most basic ways at least, rendered a strike. So I got 2 strikes, like boom boom, and then I just, before they could give me a 3rd strike and delete my channel, I removed basically almost all videos from my channel. So it's pretty much a desert right now. But the thing is, before I did that this week, I had already removed 50% of my videos. All my old reloading videos, everything. Basically, not even channels like Demolition Ranch that just blows up watermelons and shit. Even those channels got strikes for bullshit. And a lot of channels got removed as well. And even if I can't put up shit on YouTube, it's important to be on YouTube because that's where the audience is. So my plan going forward is basically to... I'm going to re-render my old reloading videos and just censor the shit out of them. And then put them up uncensored on places like Rumble and Utreon and all the other sites. Because I am mirroring my YouTube content on all those sites. All the videos I removed are perfectly viewable on all other sites. So if you're interested in watching my old reloading videos or anything like that, you can watch them at the other sites. They are there. So yeah, but no one does. Like the most viewed video on Utreon has like 150 views or something, while the most viewed video on YouTube has like 1 million views. It's like many orders of magnitude larger audience on YouTube. So even if I can't put up cool shit on YouTube, it's still important to be on YouTube if I want to have an audience at all. Like, how fun is it to put a time and effort into making videos when no one watches them? It's ridiculous. It's totally unnecessary. So if I make a cool video where I do cool shit that's not allowed on YouTube, I might put up a censored version of it on YouTube and then just post a shitload of links to the other sites where I put up the actual version of it, and then everyone can go to that site and see it. Because it's no fun to look at like the Japanese porn equivalent of GunTube videos with like big pixelated stuff over the UC parts. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit more about what actually happened. That's the wrong button. This is the button. So, Forgotten Weapons. here Ian says that basically go to Utreon instead because fuck YouTube. And here YouTube actually reversed the policy. I wouldn't be able to have this video unless YouTube reversed their bullshit policy. Because they removed my strikes earlier today, and they removed all the other people's strikes as well. So it's like, oh, I checked my email. They did not send me any emails or anything regarding this, informing me about their decisions. So I guess the most information on this is on Mr. Guns and Gear's channel. If I understand it correctly, a bunch of gun tubers in the United States basically got all their viewers to contact their political representatives and their YouTube reps. So Mr. Guns and Gears has 777,000 subscribers, and Forgotten Weapons has a lot more. So they get a YouTube representative, an actual person at YouTube they can talk to. So they had all their different representatives, they have one each, to talk on their behalf to the assholes in California, apparently it is, that censors YouTube. And also they got, apparently, if I understood it correctly, they got some political representatives to cause some noise as well. But this is, so they overreached, they overstepped, they went too fast when they basically tried to ban all gun content on YouTube. And they failed. The heat got too hot, or whatever you call it. And they had to roll back. But this fight is never going to end, because YouTube is part of the big tech assholes, the woke assholes, the ESG shit that BlackRock and all those assholes do. They're part of it. They're part of Google. And you should never use Google for anything. Never use Google as a search engine. Use DuckDuckGo or something instead. Don't touch that shit. They're monitoring you. They hate you. They're basically your enemies at this point. Same with YouTube. But unfortunately, they do have a monopoly. Unfortunately, with regards to search engines, you can just use something else that doesn't spy on you. But yeah, so that's what's happening. So for now, at least, I got my channel back. It was never deleted, my channel, but it was like this close to being deleted. And many channels got deleted, like the Recoil channel, that big Pew Pew newspaper deal in the United States that loves to put up fun content like shooting full auto Glocks and whatnot. They got deleted. So I don't know. I guess I don't have that much to say about that, but it was yeah. There's not much to do. I'm a tiny channel. I have just over 10,000 subscribers. I don't have any pull. I can't do shit with YouTube, so I have to adapt. And the plan I mentioned earlier, that's the one I'm going with. So let's see, did you get any comments on that? Norman Cena wants to buy another gun. That's always the correct course of action. Buy another gun. Hello, Ronnie. Yeah. There was a stream because I got my channel back. So if I just disappear or stop doing anything for a week or two, that's probably because they gave me a bunch of strikes. So I have this link tree. Basically, it's link. Oh fuck it! I'll send the link in chat. So you can find the links to all my shit here. My online editorial in Swedish, my homepage that I host myself. They can't mess with my homepage because that's in that cupboard over there that I host myself. The YouTube channel, merch store, Utreon, Instagram, Twitter. Basically, I'm on every site, as you can see. So my homepage is probably the best place to see if something shitty happens to me and you wonder where did Hagge Benke go. Just go to my homepage. So click the link and you get to my homepage, and this is my homepage. And the homepage is haggebanke.se. I'll put the link in the chat as well. Yeah, and I write my articles as well. Here's the latest one that came out this last weekend about this woman. who's basically an Islamist working for Turkey who handles gun licensing in Stockholm. It's not only about that, but they thought that this was fun to mention, so they put her picture all over the place. But this is basically an update on gun laws and stuff, what's happening this year in Sweden. So I'll put the link in chat for that as well. That might be interesting for anyone from Sweden to get up to date with that shit. What's this? Let me see this page. Stop it. Well, why doesn't Expressen work anymore? Oh, someone hacked Expressen. So it's I'll have to reiterate that this news article. So let's put me on the big screen. So what this is that 1 out of 5 Swedish people, according to a new poll, would feel safer if they could use a firearm. Oh, well, it came back. There we go. Boop. 1 out of 5 Swedes would feel more safe if they could shoot. So, so there might be a slight opinion in Sweden for self-defense using firearms. I am not sure how they actually worded this question, but yeah, this means that people are not stupid enough to believe they get protection from the state, from the police. They don't believe the police will protect them, and that their protection is basically up to themselves, and that they would feel safer if they could shoot. But even if they could shoot, they're not allowed to defend themselves with a firearm anyway. So yeah, and let's see here, where was that article? There, this one. So this guy wanted to buy a revolver to protect himself against wolves. Obviously it was denied, and he tried to motivate a need for it, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So one of the things I brought up in this article is that the current government will enact basically an investigation into how to basically change all of the laws regarding guns in Sweden and make them better for us gun owners. If that happens within like 2 years, they might remove some wording in the law that they used to deny this license for protection. So handguns are regulated the same way as machine guns in Sweden. It's a wording called synnerliga skäl, and it basically means that it's forbidden to own those firearms. But due to some, I don't really know how they motivate it, but it should be illegal to own handguns in Sweden and machine guns according to the law as it's interpreted by all the rest of the courts. But we're able to own that shit because the wording is so stupid to be used in that place in the gun law. So they kind of let it slide and we can own handguns anyway. But in this case, when someone wanted to defend himself against wolves, they actually referenced that wording to deny that license. But that means that what's been said is that wording will be removed regarding firearms. And that would make it actually easier to motivate a need for self-defense for firearms in Sweden. But this is like at least 2 years into the future if all the stars align and the politicians turn out not to be assholes, which is a stretch. So we'll see. But there is a little light in the end of the tunnel when it comes to self-defense with firearms, but it's a far way off. So yeah, we'll see. And I just thought this was interesting. Israel to expedite gun licensing after deadly shooting near Jerusalem synagogue. So there was some terror attack I totally missed, but I thought that yeah, they see the need for self-defense in Israel apparently. I thought they already did that. This was interesting. Some random asshole 3D printed 50 guns. I guess it's FGC 9s or something. And sold them to 50 others and sold them to criminals, and then he turned himself in. I don't know what that's about. Seems like a bullshit story to me, but who knows. And I thought this was interesting. This guy, since I love to smack talk the Swedish police, we had this soap opera like teenage level drama bullshit going on with the highest assholes in the Swedish police, and this guy is one of the highest of them all. And this little pretty blonde woman used to work in the economy department or something for the Swedish police. And then she basically started fucking this guy. And suddenly she became chief of intelligence or something. And this guy signed off on her having a personal firearm for protection. And he's now he's now basically going to be prosecuted for this, as it's a crime to... It's nepotism, it's corruption. And since this has happened, this woman basically ended her relationship with this man and started to go out with our highest military chief. I don't know what's the title in English. The highest guy, the highest general guy in the Swedish military, who dumped his wife of like 20 years or something for her. And it's just ridiculously corrupt and bullshit all the way. And these assholes are supposed to run the police and the military. It's ridiculous. And she's been utterly incompetent and hasn't managed to do anything. She's basically just... I don't know. And this is the police union, who basically... So the police usually investigates itself and say, oh, we're the best in the world or whatever. And I love to read what police union has to say about that shit, because they basically say that no, we have structural issues, everything is shit, we don't get enough pay, they're all corrupt, you have to basically lick the boots of whoever is your manager at police to basically get ahead in the police. It's just corruption all the way. That's what the union says. Yeah. So yeah, there is that. Sweden will never get better. This happened. Some asshole tried to shoot a pizza delivery guy. I don't know why. I just thought it was hilarious. Didn't you want your pizza? Was it the wrong topping? I don't know what happened. Sweden is fucked. And yeah, another editorial about the lead ban. Basically, so this is Aftonbladet. This is a left-wing newspaper. So they're saying that Ulf Kristersson, which is our prime minister right now for the moderate party, the right of center, barely, has fooled yet another group. In 2 weeks, lead shot will be banned. We'll see what happens. This woman is our youngest minister ever. He's our environmental minister, and she's not fit for the job. She's too young. She just talks shit all the time. I don't know what she's doing there. Put someone who has some life experience in that position. What is he, like 25 years old or something? Fuck that. She can barely buy alcohol in the state monopoly. I don't want your hat. And this is Carl Edin, the guy who got fucked by the government. I talked about him last week. And he's basically saying that the European Union is a catastrophe. So no one says no to the EU. Yeah, well, he seems like a fun guy. I would drink a beer with that old man. And here is Pia Clerté, our Lord and Savior, basically saying why we do not need the lead ban of the European Union. And there's many different reasons why we could just say fuck it to the lead ban. But our current government is... they're politicians, which means that they're kind of shit. And I thought this was interesting. So Suck16 is a guy who really wants to be a military when he grows up. You should set your sights higher than the Swedish military. If you're gonna go to the Swedish military, you need to have pink hair and be transitioning into a dragon or something. Anyway, so he bought a helmet at a second-hand store, and now he's prosecuted for handling military material. Also, his father had his old 30 years old heavy metal guys has these belts that's made out of old empty casings. So they tried to try him for gun crimes, firearms related crimes, because he had a bunch of empty casings in a belt. And it's just ridiculous. The military police are such assholes doing that shit. Yeah. And hunting stores are being robbed, not for guns, but for optics, like size, Swarovski, thermals, shit like that. So they're tiny little things that are worth a lot of money, like a little scope that fits in your back pocket. You can get, if it's like a Swarovski or something, it's like 20,000 Swedish krona or whatever. Super expensive shit. So of course it's something criminals want to pick up. Right, so that was the news. I have accumulated also the bullshit YouTube put me through. Techno Viking says, love guns, hate money. YouTube, love money, hate guns. That is true. That's good. I need to remember that shit. Commandant says, doesn't YouTube remember when some psycho shut up their headquarters for messing with their content creation? Did that happen? I never heard about that. That's fucked up. Kalle Sirén is late, but better than late than never. Well, that's true. Cheers. Skedaddle had extremist Islamist Turkish woman handling his licensing. Our folks says, some women at my job now wanting to learn to shoot just because they want to be able to defend themselves. Yeah, that's true. Kalle Sirén says, menar du överbefälhavaren? Yes. That woman I talked about earlier who fucked the chief of police now is fucking överbefälhavaren. Yeah. Popman 2030 says, in the part of Canada my dad lives in, the RCMP got a 1,500 pairs of boots paid for by bribing and stealing money. That's fucked up. In Canada, the Alberta sheriffs have to patrol, and now people have to have weapons to defend themselves, and roof collapse because of the cold mall, and the malls are not. Canada seems to just, I don't know. Canada is like woke dystopia at this point. Probably not equally messed up all over the country, but yeah, Canada at least doesn't have the riots that the US seems to be getting. That's basically funded by the Democrats at this point. But they do have like this dystopia and bullshit going on, where they ban free speech and basically try to mess with their political enemies in any way, shape or form they can. Piotr says, beer and snooze on a Friday, there's nothing better. That is true. I have my beer. I can recommend this if you manage to find it at Systembolaget. This is a Pilsner that's quite good if you need a Pilsner. That's what I'm drinking at the moment. Mikael Burman is drinking beer and eating chips. That's a good combination. Captain says, Carl on InRange said had a good metaphor for YouTube. It has become cable TV at this point with all the ads and streamlined programs. Okay, so I've never had a single ad while watching YouTube. If you have ads on YouTube, you do everything wrong. Let's see here. Well, what's the... so I'm using Brave, but do we have plugin? What's it called? Add-ons? Fuck it. Let's... there it is. So... anyway, I use Ghostery, privacy ad blocker. I use uBlock Origin. Don't I use anything else? Manage extensions. Here we go. Cookie notice blocker. DuckDuckGo privacy essentials. Fluff busting pure. So this one is nice. Fluff busting purity cleans up and customizes Facebook. It removes all the bullshit from Facebook, and you can actually use Facebook with this plugin. So fluff busting purity I can recommend if you're using Facebook. Ghoster is pretty good. uBlock Origin is very good for blocking that. So I use several layers of stuff to remove all the... And also in my firewall, I black hole, or I have regular lists of the known ad servers just added to block lists in my firewall as well. You can use it by pi-holing stuff, and there's several different ways to do that as well, which means that I don't have ads on my phone either, because that shit gets when I'm on the Wi-Fi, it removes that, because I basically block all those servers in the firewall. So use that shit. Never have ads on your... That takes bandwidth, that monitors you and put tracking cookies. So use Brave as your browser. That's like the basic level of safety, because it just removes all the bullshit cookies immediately. Same with Firefox and stuff. Never use Chrome. Chrome is bullshit. Rusty says he owns a Tikka T3X 308 and a recommendation for solid hunting ammunition. There is so much hunting ammunition for the 308. It depends on what you're hunting and what you want to achieve for kind of terminal ballistics and stuff. So if you're hunting hogs, you might want them to just get destroyed, as if you're hunting pests. If you're hunting something else, you might not want to destroy that much meat, so you might have to think about the composition of your bullets and stuff like that. So it kind of depends on what you want to do with it and what you're hunting. So yeah, but there's so much to choose from. So it's, yeah, usually when you look at just Google what you have available where you live and read up on the bullets and the load and see if that's applicable to your usage scenario, basically. Techno Viking says double condoms, safety squints, and mom on speed dial. Yeah, they'll keep ads off your YouTubes, but never let them show you ads. That's why would you want to be the product? Because you are the product if they get to monitor you. Hello, Goffs on Delete. Mikael Burman is missing Internet Explorer. Well, just run Internet Explorer then. Do I have Internet Explorer on this computer? No, I just have Microsoft Edge. Well, fuck that. What time is it there? It is 7:30 in the PM if you're using a 12-hour system, or 1927 if you're using proper 24-hour system. So what is the best value for money thermal optic now? Depends on what you need it for. The one I have, so they're basically censoring thermal stuff. I get demonetized immediately and they refuse to let me get that monetized, but at least they're not giving me strikes for thermal videos. So the one I have is the cheapest cheapskate version you can probably get. That's 400 euros approximately, and it will work. It will do the job, but it's a janky solution. But if you're actually wanting something nice, you're gonna have to pay at least 20,000-30,000 Swedish krona, or $3,000 to $4,000 or euros at least. Depends on how serious you are about having that shit. Skogen says, is GGG good practice ammo? Yes, it is. The 147 grains, if you're getting 147 grains, which is basically NATO spec ammunition, it's usually shit. But the GGG 147 grains is as good as that will get. GGG has match ammo as well. All the heavier loads of GGG is Sierra Match Kings. And for those that don't know, the specific sniper ammunition the US military snipers use have Sierra Match King bullets. So GGG ammunition with the heavier loads, it's basically NATO spec US specific sniper ammunition they use in the M24s. And that's kind of, people don't know that, but that's actually the exact same thing, the exact same bullets and all that. So they have several bullet weights. So buy a box of each for your rifle if you want to do long range with your 308, as long as that will shoot for you, and don't reload. Then check out GGG's heavier loads. because that will be those bullets. I use those bullets myself, but in 6.5 when I want to shoot really far with my 6.5 by 55. It's a classic long-range bullet, actually. And it's proven in combat as well, as I said. Kalisrian says, thinking of a front-mounted one, like a clip-on, I guess, then, instead of a thermal-only one, pros and cons. So, the front-mounted one, if you get a front-mounted and you put some actual money down into it, there is some that are quite good. Let's see if I actually saved those. So there are several different ones you can actually use. It's not gonna. So the thing is, Germany legalized for hunters, at least in some states, legalized it for hunters to use thermals, but only clip-ons. You can't have one with an integrated sight into it. And this is one I looked at. It's quite expensive, 47,000 krona, but it has really good specifications, and you put it in front, and you can probably use it as a head-mounted one as well. There are others. The Chinese ones that are not as this is made in Germany, but there are other ones that are a bit less expensive that you can use as a on your helmet, like a eyepiece. What's it called? Monocular or something? And yeah, what's it called? MH25 or something. A friend of mine bought one, but I haven't actually tested that one yet. But you can use that as a clip-on. You can put it on a rail, you can put it on the optic, and you can use it on a helmet as well if you want to play tactical, LARP that shit. So yeah, that's a good thing with these, that you can do a lot of different things with it. So 47,000 Swedish krona in US dollars is like, I don't know, 50, 60, 5 or 6,000 or something. Something like that. Put it in Google. Our Fox says the GGG Match Kings in 2-3 are fucking awesome. Yeah, they probably are. I never tried those. Maybe I should. Normal Citizens. I don't know if I already asked this, but is the Remington 700 any good? No, it isn't. Never buy a Remington 700. Fuck those. Buy a Tikka. Buy a Bergara. Buy anything else. Do not buy a Remington 700. If you want to have it good, you have to blueprint it and shit. The thing is, Remington 700 became like became like a blueprint for different. You can buy a bunch of different actions that fits the Remington 700 profile, so you can use chassis systems and whatnot that fit the Remington 700. So you don't need a Remington 700 that's built shittily to have something to put in a Remington 700 compatible chassis system. What you can do is like buy a Bergara, that stuff will go into a Remington 700 chassis system, or buy, if you want a totally custom rifle, like my 338 Lapua Magnum is totally custom from the ground up, but it fits Remington 700 chassis systems. So, but don't ever buy a Remington 700. That's ridiculous. Those are shit. And if you want a Remington 700 that's actually good, you have to pay more than you would buying another brand that's equally good, because so much work has to be done to it to make it good. So yeah, buy a Bergara or a Tikka T3X. Tikka T3X has another profile, but if you're really sold on the Remington 700 accessories, then buy a Bergara, for example. Rusty says, I want a lever action pistol or rifle caliber. That depends on what you're using it for. If you just want a fun plinker, buy something in 357 Magnum, and then get a lot of many boxes of 32 Special, and suppress that bad boy, and then you have subsonic plinking fun all day long at the shooting range. But if you actually want to hunt with it or something, just get a regular rifle caliber one. I always recommend 45-70, but then you basically have to reload for it because it's horribly expensive if you need to buy shit for it. But if you just want to have fun plinking and also hunt something like smaller game, then a 357 one will do the job. And it's a super fun rifle. Or if you're just cheap and want to have a really fun plinker, and you feel like a semi-auto 1022 is too much fun, so you can't handle it, then buy a 22 long rifle lever action. That's fun as well. Just remember to suppress that bad boy. Okay, next beer. This is the Soren beer. That's on the Soren with his dog. What even is this beer? It's starköl. I guess it's just a light lager then. 5% alcohol content. Here's my tactical spork again. Let's open this and pour it. God damn it. I think I need some paper for this shit. Luckily I didn't spill on my keyboard at least. Be right back. Oh. God damn it. Such a waste of perfectly good beer. There we go. Perfect. No one will ever know. This will be our secret, right guys? Techno Viking says I still can't pour a beer for shit. Well, obviously not. I can't deny. I cannot deny that. Yeah. Alfred has started saving up for a Blazer R8 Ultimate, but goddamn they're expensive. It's a mistake to try one. They're nice guns, and yeah, the most horrible weapons failure I ever seen live. I haven't seen that many, but I've seen one live. So it was so ridiculous. The R8 is a straight pull, horribly expensive rifle, and all the fancy hunters in Sweden want an R8, and I do not know why, but it's a good rifle. Except the magazine is part of the trigger. So when you change the magazine, you remove the trigger mechanism as well. It's retarded. And the trigger mechanism and the magazine is made out of shitty plastic. So and everyone in my hunting team has an R8 in 300 Magnum. I don't know why, but they have that. They like to blow up moose. Anyway, so he was gonna zero it before the hunt, and he just shot one shot, and the magazine and all the rounds just fell out of it. A tiny hairline crack was in the magazine, and that made it the whole rifle inoperable. And he got a new one. He went back to the store, but that day of hunting was lost to him. So imagine what would have happened if a bear attacked him with that rifle. He would have died. And this is not just idle speculation. That actually happened. One of the hunters in my team, a bear attacked him, and he had to kill the bear while it rushed him. And it fell down after 3 shots just a couple of meters in front of him. If that was that guy with that rifle, he would have died. So yeah, fuck R8s. I'm never going to use one. They are nice when they work, but after that I have zero confidence in them. Yeah. Our folk went with the Mossberg MVP instead of the 700. It's not for everyone, but I like them. Well, I never tried one. They look nice. Kalle said, when the wife wonders about the sticky keyboard, I promise, it's beer. Yeah. She's never going to believe that one. Our folk says that's why I got a plastic cover for his keyboard. Well, put a plastic cover on your little thing instead. That saves some time. That's, I don't know. Why are we discussing this? You guys are silly. That's the wrong type of gun. The Beretta BRX1 has a better straight pull system than the R8. Yeah, that seems nice. But straight pull, if you want to have a fancy reloading system, get a semi-auto immediately instead. There are several really good semi-autos you can use for hunting. If you don't give a shit about having a 20 round magazine for it or something. Just get a semi-auto. That's better than a straight pull anyway. Or get a regular bolt action. Because straight pulls become so much more complicated that there's much more that can go wrong with it compared to a regular bolt action that you can just go to a semi-auto immediately instead. Alfred says, very many bear hunters in Sweden use the R8. If they trust it, I'll trust it as well. The only one, so a long time ago, one of the guys on my hunting team managed to wound a bear, almost the same thing. And professional hunters came to kill it because it was wounded. And they used, since it was aftershock, when they try to find a wounded animal, regular hunting laws does not apply, so there's special weapons for it. So they used a lever action 4570 because it has more ammunition in the magazine. And they had a pump action shotgun filled with, so the first shot was, what's it called when it's a few really large rounds in the shotgun? Not slugs, but buckshot. So buckshot, slug, buckshot, slug, buckshot, slug. So they shoot a buckshot into the brush if it's hiding in there, and when it rises up, they shoot a slug into it. And another guy stands behind him with 4570 lever action, just pumping rounds into it. That's how they actually kill them. They do not use an R8, and that's the professional hunters that goes around hunting them. But yeah, it might have been a freak accident, the R8 thing I talked about, but still, that could have been a very terrible situation if Murphy came knocking. Tom Anders asks, Hage, what should I buy next? Ammunition. I don't know. I don't know how much shit you already have. I keep forgetting. But yeah, I don't know. You have enough cool shit. Sell something as you usually do, Tom, and buy something else that fans you in this moment. It's funny because in a shooting club, everyone knows Tom just buys shit all the time and sells shit. And so every time he posts in our groups and says, I just bought this, everyone says, oh, that's cool. When you sell it, let me buy it off you. I'm first in line to buy that off you when you sell it in 2 weeks. That's the running gag when Tom buys anything else. Goffs on the lead says, damn it, Hage, aftershock sounds like normal Texas hunting, at least when they exterminate boars. Well, exterminate boars, yeah. I've seen so many bizarro videos from Texas when they run around in like ATVs with like pintle mounted machine guns with infrared lasers and thermals and shit. My favorite one is still an old acquaintance of mine who runs like a company somewhere in Texas where he goes out and exterminate hogs. And so he has his pickup and he put this high seat on the back of the pickup and he runs a drone that flies around. And it has a thermal camera and like a red laser or a green laser or something on it. And he finds the hogs with a drone and just point the lasers at them. And then his friends drive there in the pickup truck and just exterminates them with like semi-auto AR-10s with thermals on them. Kalle says, should have some fun with the Rem 870 someday. Do you talk about mine? The short-barreled shotgun I have with a suppressor on it? What is my next gun, Hage? Well, I'm still waiting for the courts to decide if I get the VSS Vintores. Unfortunately, I'm not probably gonna get it. Even if I win that court case, I'm still probably not gonna be able to afford it because I need to pay off some loans and shit, so I don't have the money to buy something expensive like that. So it's not gonna be a new gun for a long while for me. Tom says he really would like to buy Daniel Defense 308, so So 308's AR-10s are interesting because every manufacturer has their own AR-10 with its own shit built into it. So the really good part about an AR-15 is part compatibility with everything. If you buy a direct impingement AR-15, you can basically go to any gun store and buy whatever you need. I need a gas tube. Well, here you have a standard gas tube, etc. I had my first fun gun like that, a semi-auto, was an AR-15. I still have it. It's the one I painted green. And it still shoots well, it still functions, and I've changed everything on it except the bolt and the upper. Everything else has been changed on it. The lower, the trigger, the everything. I changed the barrel as well. Yeah, I've had it for, what is it now? Like 15 years now. I think I had it for 15 years. And it still just keeps trucking. And it's a direct impingement AR-15 made in Germany on Oberland Arms. But since it's like the famous axe metaphor. If you have an axe and you change the head of the axe, then later you change the handle of the axe, and then you do it a couple of times, is it still the same axe as the one you once bought? No, it isn't it? So that kind of, so it doesn't really matter. But that shit is not possible with an AR-10, like the Heinel one I have in 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm stuck with the configuration of it basically. When I wanted a match trigger for it, I had to buy Heinel's own match trigger. I could do some things. I put JP springs in it, but it's hard. So, yeah. If you're buying an AR-10, buy a good one immediately. If you're buying an AR-15, buy a direct impingement one. Then you can pour money at it and make it into whatever Barbie doll you want. Yeah, it's impossible to find a Daniel Defense right now in Sweden. So you have to buy something else. Buy a Heinel one. Didn't you have a Heinel once, but you sold it? Buy another. I'm going to visit Heinel at IWA. I'm going to visit Holosun as well and check out their thermal sites. There's going to be a bunch of videos coming out in next month. So first weekend of next month I'm going to Nuremberg in Germany to visit IWA. And that's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to film as much as possible. What else are you guys talking about? Techno Vikings calling Tom a prilbög. Well, yeah, that's true. So am I. Techno Viking wants some exterminated boar meat to smoke. Yeah, that's good shit. Boar is actually really tasty. Get an LMT or a Knights in 308. Yeah, those are nice as well. But Tom Anders is in love with Daniel Defense right now. Tom really wants an LWRC in 308. We have one guy at least in the club who has an LWRC in 308. I think it's an LWRC at least, with a twisted barrel and all that good stuff. Or was that a 223? I don't remember. So he wanted a direct impingement 308. Why? Why does that matter? It's still a 308. It's still not going to be compatible with other shit. Still gonna have its own bolt carrier, its own upper and lower, its own handguard solution. You're stuck with whatever you buy. You might be able to change the stock unless you buy become stupid and buy an MR 308 from Heckler & Koch or something. Never buy Heckler & Koch. They're really good guns, but fuck it, you're stuck in their ecosystem and you can't even buy you can't buy shit. You have to buy their sight mounts even, and everything has the HK tax on it, so it gets super expensive very fast. Gobson Elite asks, Hage, is there any pistol competition that allows to use a red dot except the IPSC? Well, no, wait a moment. Isn't there a new division in Pistolskytteförbundet, the Pistol Shooting Federation in Sweden, that allows red dots? I have this vague memory of that being allowed in some capacity there. If it's like PPC or something that allows in some division. I'm fairly certain, you're gonna have to Google that shit because I don't compete in that myself, and I have just a vague recollection of the guy responsible for that in our shooting club mentioning that to me a long time ago. So I'm fairly certain you can do it outside of IPSC. But regarding IPSC, there are some rumors. I'm not sure how much I can tell you, so I'm going to be super vague about this. But let's just say this: the highest person in the IPSC International Federation is a GRU agent from Russia, and the people of the Swedish IPSC Federation is basically directly below Russian intelligence services. So if you have any security clearances in Sweden, if you work for the government in any way, shape or form, let's just say that you do not want to be part of the IPSC Federation at all, because that shit will come up and you have to renew your security clearance, and that will not be in your favor. So if you have a job like that, do not be part of the IPSC Federation. Leave it right now. And I mentioned this before. I made a video about it because Ukraine, the IPSC Federation in Ukraine and in the Baltic states and other places as well, have raised objections to this. But what I'm trying to say is that Russia has infiltrated the IPSC Federation and basically controls it. And the IPSC Federation in Russia is controlled by the military. They are supporting actively the military. So, yeah. Be very careful with the IPSC Federation if you try to keep your security clearance. And this is probably gonna become very official in those organizations all over the Western world very soon. Tom Anders says, no worries, buy once. Are you shitting me, Tom? Did you just say buy once? I'm gonna make fun of you for that to the end of days. You are the last person to ever say buy once, cry once, because you buy expensive shit any other person would say buy once, cry once for. Then you just sell it and buy another expensive piece of kit. That's funny, Tom. That's funny. That's really funny. Hilarious. Buy once, cry once. Yeah, sure. Buy many times, cry many times, Tom. Greg says, Hage, if they remove the fashion laws for hunting guns, will an AR-10 in 308 be an option? Tentatively, yes. Same with an AR-15. In reality, probably not, because the police will fuck with you. But we'll see what happens. It kind of depends how they change the rule set. If you're still gonna have to have like a magazine fixated into the receiver and shit like that, that's gonna become a problem because you can't really top load those magazines through the ejection port on an AR-10. Perhaps it's possible, but probably not. We'll see what happens. I know more later this year, and when things clear up on that, I'm gonna make many videos about that. Don't worry. But yeah, hopefully we'll see. Vino PTH, brother, I just joined. What happened? In regards to what? Do you mean YouTube? YouTube tried to ban gun content on YouTube, but they overreached and got a lot of pushback, so they retracted a bunch of shit. I got many strikes and they got removed all during 1 week. So yeah, that happened. But still, this is just a temporary win. YouTube will continue to try to ban whatever they feel is politically sensitive, because they are fucking assholes. Fuck them. So it's a win for now, but yeah, we'll see. Ghost on the Lead says, but if the IPSC Federation founder, it's not the founder, it's the guy in charge of the IPSC Federation, the head guy. The founding guy is in the US somewhere. Aren't Aren't each nation basically their own organization in IPSC? Well, yes, but still, it's an international organization with international competitions. So, yeah, but it is it's hard because it's the military can't. It used to be what's called a military sport, a försvarsmaktssport, IPSC. It's probably not going to be that for long, and the IPSC Federation in Sweden has really squandered their opportunities with the Swedish military. They had like during like a decade or something, they had 2 military championships. So the military has basically said fuck IPSC because they don't really do tactical shit anyway. It's just Formula 1 for shooting. So they're going with the Finnish version of SRA, basically Finnish brutality, desert brutality, stuff like that. That's what the Swedish military will do. And I'm currently trying to, I'm probably, most likely, about 99.99% sure I'm gonna enact something similar to Finnish brutality in Sweden. And I'm probably gonna have some, I don't know, not official, but some kind of backing from the Swedish military as well. So we'll see what happens. So Swedish military will basically probably drop IPSC and go with the Finnish variant instead, because that's actually combat orientated. Tom Anders will get a 300 blackout this year. Well, you hate money, so are you going to start reloading, Tom? Tom says, but waiting for the bullshit regarding below 16-inch barrels. Yeah, that's hopefully going away soon. Can't say more than that, but we'll see. Viking King says, so you were a military. Where? I don't have any personal affiliation with the Swedish military. I've helped out where I can. I've done stuff like helping out officers at Ledningsregementet with my collection of Russian firearms. So the reference weapons when they first started doing familiarity trainings with their reference collection of SVD Dragunovs, they used my ammunition, my personal ammunition, and this last week I gave a bunch of different types of 7.62x39 ammunition to the Swedish military so they could train their bomb dogs with it. And they helped the Swedish police with finding ammunition from criminals. So I gave them Yugoslavian M43 7.62x39, for example, and M62 as well. And that is what the criminals will be using, so they can train the bomb dogs to find the criminals' ammunition. That's my ammunition they use for that. So stuff like this I do for the Swedish military, but personally I haven't done military service or anything, because I'm interested in pew-pewing, not that shit. I don't have high hopes for the Swedish military in their performance because of my experiences, some of it with some other parts of it. But if I can help them to actually do shit that will make the country a little bit safer in my little tiny capacity, I will do it, obviously. But yeah, I will not join the military or the Home Guard or anything. And I don't believe they would want me anyway, because yeah. I'm all out of beer, people. What are you guys saying? Our folks says Swedish brutality. Now I really need an AR. God damn it. Yeah. This will probably so the Swedish Pistol Shooting Federation is the ones that's going to be helping the Swedish military organizing stuff like Swedish brutality for the military in Sweden, but it's SRA. I don't know what the abbreviation stands for. It's Finnish, and that's what Finnish brutality actually is. So they have a bunch of reservists basically doing Finnish brutality, and they've been doing that for ages. And Finnish brutality was basically Varusteleka's, the store's variant of it for people from wherever to join in on the fun. But the way it's going to start up in Sweden is basically just going to be for the Home Guard and the Swedish military. But fuck that. We have freedom of organization in Sweden, right? So I'm just going to say my club can do whatever we want and do that anyway, right? Because that sounds like a lot of fun. So, yeah. And I do know the people in the Swedish military who's going to set this shit up. So I can hopefully get the rule books and everything from them, and just have a good time, train everyone so they can do it safely, and have a good time, and do some classical shooting sports with my friends in the shooting club. So hopefully that's going to be a good time, and the people who are police officers and military personnel in my shooting club, which are a fair few by now, can get some actual good out of it as well. And the rest of us can have a good time. Magnus Dahlberg says, all the dogs will bark at you going through customs. Yeah, well, that's a risk I'm willing to take. Oh dear. Kalle Sirén says we should do a Bläckarfredag, but everyone has to have at least 6 beers and a cam. Well, we can do that on Discord sometime. When, yeah. If the missus, she's working in Dalarna, as I said, but she's back on the weekend, so I'm gonna spend my time with her, obviously. But if she ever has to work a weekend, we can do it. On Discord. Talk shit. Solve all the world's problems while being really drunk. Classical pastime while drunk in Sweden, and then we forget about it all the day after. Sabo says Svenska Pistolskytteförbundet, no rifles then. Well, SRA is going to be 2 gun. It's going to be handgun and rifle. So that's why. But I don't know what the plans actually are for that. If it's going to be a separate organization later down the line, or what's going on. But Svenska Pistolskytteförbundet, the Swedish pistol shooting organization, is going to start with organizing SRA in Sweden at least. So we'll see what the future holds. But yeah. But it's going to be AK-5, AK-4, and Pistol 88 basically. For starters. But if and when my club does it, it's going to be whatever rifle you have and whatever pistol you have. So we'll see. It's going to be fun. Yes, but now, you guys, I'm going to be social with my significant other. I haven't seen her for a week, so I'm kind of want to give her a hug right now. You guys have a good weekend, and remember to go out and have fun at the shooting range and be safe. And always remember, fuck YouTube, and try to migrate with me to the other sites. I'm not sure which one I will be focusing on primarily, if it's going to be Rumble or Odyssey or whatever. People like Military Arms Channel and those guys are going to Rumble. And Rumble actually, I can actually live stream on Rumble right now. Odyssey has basically nerfed the live streams to only a few select people because they don't have the resources to do it. So I don't know what I'll do with live streams. For now, I'm going to stay on YouTube, but sooner or later, YouTube is going to kick me out. So we'll see what happens. You guys have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. See ya.